प्रोफेसर खैम सिंह डहरिया, हिंदी विभाग में प्रोफेसर हूँ और मानविकी भाषा संकाय मैं अधिष्ठाता के दायित्व का भी निर्वहन कर रहा हूँ। आज हम प्रोफेसर मनुकोंडा रविन्द्रनाथ जी से बातचीत की श्रृंखला में बातचीत करने जा रहे हैं। आप संचार एवं मीडिया अध्ययन संकाय के अधिष्ठाता हैं और तकनीकी व्यावसायिक शिक्षा और कौशल प्रशिक्षण के अधिष्ठाता के दायित्व का भी निर्वहन कर रहे हैं और पत्रकारिता और जनसंचार विभाग के अध्यक्ष भी हैं। तो सर, आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है आज की बातचीत में। बातचीत को आगे बढ़ाएं इसके पहले थोड़ा सा अपने बारे में, आपकी शिक्षा दीक्षा और पारिवारिक पृष्ठभूमि के बारे में थोड़ा सा बताएंगे, उसके बाद अपन आगे बढ़ेंगे।
I am born and brought up from Andhra Pradesh. मेरा माता पिता दोनों गवर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉयज़ हैं। My father worked and retired as a revenue official of the state government and मेरा माँ डिस्ट्रिक्ट एजुकेशन ऑफिसर है, एजुकेशन डिपार्टमेंट है। We are 4 children and I am the youngest, आखिरी चाइल्ड है। So I have studied MA in Andhra University, which is one of the oldest universities in the country. It is past more than 100 years old. And in Andhra University I have studied MA Journalism Mass Communication, and after that I have completed PhD from the same university. And I have studied LLM also, Bachelor of Law and Master of Law also from the same university. Regarding my educational qualifications, I have qualified NET in mass communication, SLET in mass communication, and SET in law also. During my education days, I was gold medalist in Master of Journalism Mass Communication, and these are my basic academic qualifications. After that, I did one certificate course from Film and Television Institute of India, Pune, to enrich my knowledge in film studies. So I went there for a training for 1 month course in film appreciation. So this is also additional academic qualification which helped me a lot in my career. All our family members, 2 girls and 2 boys, and all of us settled in government jobs. I am the youngest of them also.
जी, धन्यवाद सर। तो पत्रकारिता, मीडिया और संचार के प्रति आपकी रुचि कैसे जागृत हुई, इस तरफ आपका झुकाव कैसे हुआ, उसके बारे में थोड़ा सा बताएंगे।
From my childhood, as my father, mother are employees, we used to get daily 2 newspapers in those days, in the early 80s and late 70s, when I am studying school education. So we used to get one local language, vernacular language paper, and one national daily, Hindu or Indian Express we used to get. From my childhood, I used to expose to reading newspaper daily, national affairs, Indian polity, international affairs, and sports in the newspapers. So that inculcated me a spirit in me, and I developed a curiosity to know more about the media education. So that was the triggering point which culminated into further studying in mass communication. Because they are government employees, they bought the television set in the early days when television brought and color television was implemented in India 85 in the 80s. So that also attracted towards me for the electronic media. So these print media and the electronic TV, and we were having a radio set. We used to listen daily national news, DD news in the television. So that inculcated me to study media education as a career development. That is the point where I was attracted towards the media, because I was exposed to media from early days of schooling days, sir. That is the point which I was attracted for the media.
जी जी, धन्यवाद सर। अच्छा, हम देखें पत्रकारिता, जो जर्नलिज्म की बात हो रही है, पास्ट, फ्यूचर और प्रेजेंट, इसके बारे में, पत्रकारिता के बारे में थोड़ा सा बताइए।
So if we look at the past, media, how it evolved. After the first printing press by Gutenberg was started, from that time onwards, you see this media both gradually developing, evolving from 16th century, 17th century. And after that, in America, 1940s, radio, and in India, 1920s, radio has started. In the US, television has started. So that is the beginning point, and it's slowly expanding. In those days, media circulation is very high in the world. New York Times, Washington Post, and in India, very oldest newspapers are Statesman and Hindu newspaper and Indian Express and Chronicles and Hindustan Times. So these papers brought a lot of awareness among the people, and the circulation of the newspapers was very high. After the advent of the television during the early 80s and color television during the Asian Games time, so it was developed much, and people are more aware of the information through broadcast through the media. And radio, through radio in the past, people used to get Akashvani news, and in TV those news, and it is entertainment point. So it gradually evolving into the present situation, where after the TV was came into existence, after the satellite TV, Star satellite network, and so they have developed into multi-flowed, and so many media channels they have opened, and that gave a good opportunity and scope, बहुत scope दिया. So people are more exposed to media channels, and during the present time, that it was shifted to online newspapers and mobile technology and convergence media. So these, because of the development of technology and the websites and the online newspapers, the convergence took place. Media, entertainment, and all the media channels, film industry, they became into big unit, and it developed into a multifold. And because of the big multinational companies that have joined, like Star and Murdoch and all those big companies, so CNN collaboration, so the media developed very fast during the last 2 decades. And now the present time, then because of the online newspapers are picked up a lot, and after that people are more reporting in the social media. So citizenship journalism has taken place, and people are they are writing content in the social media, and people are much aware of the online newspapers. And with the advent of the mobile technology, mobile apps, people are instantly watching news very quickly and any point of time. And by Facebook, by social media, YouTube, and all those different technologies, social media has developed a lot, and people are well connected across the world because of social media, and the news is flowing instantly across the world within seconds, within a minute, and no time. So this is the present generation. In the next coming days, it will go to 5G technology, and the consumption during the COVID time, because the consumption of data has increased a lot, multiplied into so many times. People are using more mobile technology, and the reporting also. Previously they used to have a big cameras, big outdoor broadcasting van. That all has changed, and the next in the next coming days, in the future, only with the advanced mobile technology, mobile reporting has taking place, and editing is taking through the mobile, and they are sending directly to their web in the media houses. Because of that, blogs have developed, and with the big mobile systems, with the application, the reporters are taking, writing, content developing, editing and recording, and sending through with the help of the internet to the media organization directly to the websites and through the web, and it will be reflected to the people immediately within the no time. The future lies in the mobile technology and mobile reporting and data journalism. Because of big data, the journalists are getting lot of information from the search engines, and they are taking the information and they are filtering that information and writing the information. So next generation is most of the journalists will be based on the data journalism with the reliable sources and the reliable websites. Because of that, the future of journalism has drastically changed from the big technology, outdoor broadcasting to mobile technology, sir.
धन्यवाद सर, काफ़ी विस्तार से आपने कल आज और कल की पत्रकारिता के बारे में आपने बताया है। थोड़ा सा पेड न्यूज़ के बारे में भी बताएंगे, क्या है इसके लाभ और हानि क्या है उसके बारे में थोड़ा सा, पेड न्यूज़।
सो ये पेड न्यूज़ डेवलप्ड some 10-15 साल के पहले शुरू किया during elections. In the Maharashtra, it was first time exposed to the society that during the election time, paid news is a menace to the media industry. The respect will come down because of paid news. Paid news will be in different stages, different steps. Some slightly supporting a political party or opposing a political party as an individual by taking money, by taking gifts for the media organizations. They are writing news in favor of somebody. That will degrade the respect of journalism and the social accountability of journalism, because people have faith in media, so that they should be highly socially accountable and objective journalism they have to write. So many times the Editors Guild of India also, they brought this information and motivated the journalists not to indulge in any because any paid news support, because the true journalism will degrade. And if there is no objective journalism, when the people lost faith on the media, so the people lost trust on the media, वो believe नहीं करते हैं public, then the organization will fail. So it is now decreased to some extent, but still it is in existence. So the journalists should be highly responsible, ethically, morally, and they should be accountable for the citizens of this democratic country. Then only the media industry will have high regard and high respect if they are not indulged in any type of paid news.
जी जी। अच्छा, मीडिया को चौथा स्तंभ कहा जाता है, इसके बारे में थोड़ा बताएंगे कि इसकी कितनी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी और कितना महत्व आज के संदर्भ में है।
So, as we all know that there are three pillars: legislative, executive, and judiciary. So, in India is the largest democratic country in the world. So, media is the fourth pillar. So, it has a lot of responsibility in a democratic society. Thomas Jefferson, also American president, told, if you want to choose between a government and the media, he preferred without government also. If good media is there, it will run. So media such a more important parallelly with the government. So it has a lot of significance in a democratic society. So if in the media role is unmeasurable, we can't measure it. So everything they will report and they will inform all the information which are required for the people. So it is a pillar. If the pillar is weak, so the fourth one pillar is weak, the remaining three pillars also will weaken. So media has a very strong role, especially in a democratic society. And India is the biggest democratic country in the world, and it has more responsibility. So the media organizations have to shoulder the social responsibility in taking the country forward in a democratic society. So people who are believing in media, they should be highly accountable in reporting such information which will be very useful for the people. So they must realize that what information people want. They should act like a gatekeepers. So gatekeeping means lot of information come to the media, but the editors have to filter and what information is very much beneficial for the people and how to take the society to the next level by guiding it should be like a guiding force, and they are setting the agenda, so they should set the agenda in a very careful manner to take our country for the newer heights, so that we will flourish across the world with the support of the media, as it is a fourth pillar in a democratic society, sir.
जी जी, जनसंचार की भूमिका, जनसंचार का रोल, जिसे अपन देखते हैं कि कहीं भूकंप आ रहा है और हम यहाँ पे उसको देख पा रहे हैं, तो ये बहुत बड़ी भूमिका है, तो इस संबंध में भी थोड़ी सी चर्चा करेंगे।
So the role of mass communication has multiplied, because we all know that from the children, from the old people are watching the media, how it is going on, how it is going ahead, what they are showing it. So they should be very carefully report the development activities. So media is not only news only. At the same time, they have to focus the government policies which are beneficial for the old people, like widow schemes and child welfare schemes, child education schemes. All informative also they have to focus, and they have to bring on the development aspect and the development reporting side of journalism. So most of the people say they will feel that negative news is coming in the media. So the media has to be very careful in promoting a positive news, because positive news will inculcate a positive attitude in the society among the people. So they have to, all the information which are beneficial for the people, like policies or progressive thinking, health issues, agriculture, education, opportunities, job scope, youth, sports, all positive aspects if they write. So that is the main role of media, because one of the important function of the media is to give information and to interpret about an issue. So not only giving the issue information, so they have to interpret which is right, which is wrong. So why it is right, why it is wrong, they have to inculcate, and they have to give health tips also during the pandemic times. So it will be very beneficial for the people. So many people are confused. So then interpretative journalism they have to write, and critical analysis journalism they have to write, and development reporting they have to write. In this way they have to take the mass communication ahead in the coming days to come, because people are highly attracted towards the media, and they are using lot of data for the media consumption. So the mass media organizations have to set and go ahead carefully, keeping at the larger interest of the society, sir.
जी 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 आप फैकल्टी ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन एंड मीडिया स्टडीज, फैकल्टी ऑफ टेक्निकल वोकेशनल एजुकेशन एंड स्किल ट्रेनिंग के अधिष्ठाता भी हैं, डीन हैं, और पत्रकारिता जनसंचार विभाग के अध्यक्ष भी हैं। तो ऐसे कई प्रशासनिक महत्वपूर्ण दायित्वों पर आप हैं और इसके पहले भी रहे हैं, तो उनके अनुभव के बारे में थोड़ा एक्सपीरियंस अपना साझा करेंगे।
So last 12 years I am heading the mass communication department in various state government and Central University of Himachal and Indira Gandhi National Tribal University. So when you are heading the department or heading the faculty of mass communication or the BVOC faculty in media technology, so we have a great responsibility on a shoulder. That is, this we are known as not simply administrators. We call in the academic higher education institution as academic administrators, because our primary role is to teach. At the same time, because we are, by virtue of a seniority, we are giving administrative positions by the institution, which we have to shoulder responsibility. Primary role is to teach. So at the same time, we have to teach the students. Along with the teaching, we have to train the students in a more technical way, and we have to develop them in a employability skills. Secondly, as administrators, we have to take them for the media internship or the media tours. We have to see that all faculty will work together, and we will send them for the internships. So we have to talk to the organizations while going. We have to write letters or supporting letters to the students, so that they will go for the 45 days summer training for the practical internship. At the same time, thirdly, regarding whatever help we have to do for the students for writing dissertations, okay, and guiding them in the writing the dissertations, in preparing for the future further education. And lastly, we have to help them in their placements. Whatever the contacts we have in the media, so we have to recommend the students. We will write a supporting recommendation letters to the students and give them, so that they will go and meet the media organizations, and they will test their skill, and if they found good, they will be getting jobs. Sometimes we used to call the media chief reporters to our departments and to deliver the lectures. So then they will interact with the students. If they found certain students very good, they will ask them to come for the media training after their education, and if the skill is good, so they will get the jobs in that organization. So we have to teaching learning process, skill development, because the government of India is very much particular about the vocational courses. Now we all know that Mr. Narendra Modi ji is very particular about the youth and their employment. Youth and their employment. Employment will get through their employability skills. Mere certificate, it will not be used. They should be trained in video taking and photography and editing and graphic designing, web designing. If they are trained, they can earn a livelihood because of their employability skills. So then employment will be reduced among the youth in the country. Frustration will be reduced among the youth. They will get and they will earn income for their livelihood. That's why Ministry of Skill Education Training also separately they have allotted a separate minister, and we are having 2-3 courses in BVOC Media Technology and BVOC Software Development. Now this year under this new Vice Chancellor, Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Sri Prakashman Tripathi ji, we have applied to the UGC for the MVOC programs. So along with the MVOC programs, we got 2 programs. Now we have Master of Vocational Skill Development programs in Media Technology and Software Technology, sir. Along with that, we got 2 BVOC programs, BVOC Agriculture and BVOC Tourism and Management. So these are where they will get the jobs. The students have to be trained in these areas, not only theoretical. If they give training in skill based, so they will get a more scope for the jobs. Now that's why in that way we can reduce the unemployment among the youth, so that if the youth is unemployed, they will indulge in negative things. So they should get jobs immediately. So we are training in that way and taking the department, both the faculties, in a very positive outlook, and the teaching learning process is very good. We have equipments, labs, softwares and workstations for the editing and all those things. Thank you.
क्वेश्चन मेरा वही व्यवसायिक शिक्षा को लेकर के था, तो आपने इसमें स्पष्ट उसको कर भी दिया है। जो भारत सरकार की योजना है आत्मनिर्भर भारत, उसको लेकर के स्किल ट्रेनिंग और वोकेशनल एजुकेशन को लेकर के आपने उसको स्पष्ट भी कर दिया है। अंतिम क्वेश्चन है कि आप अब यहाँ से इस विश्वविद्यालय से जवाहरलाल नेहरू विश्वविद्यालय जो दिल्ली है वहाँ पर जा रहे हैं, वहाँ काम करने के स्कोप भी अधिक हैं, और इस कारण से जो है अब वहाँ जाने के लिए आप जो है अब किस तरह से उसको आप देखते हैं?
So, भगवान का कृपा से I was selected in JNU in the Center for Media Studies. It is a relatively new center established for six years back. Okay, roughly around 6 years back. So JNU gives a platform for all academicians at the highest level, because it is number top ranked university in the country, and NAC it is having 3.97, and NIRF rankings have second place, and it's a graded autonomy university. So what is the specialty of JNU is, it is highly multidisciplinary approach. Suppose a media विभाग है, इसमें students हैं, students based any social sciences students can do research, any humanities students can do research, any arts students can do research. All are eligible to take the PhD entrance, not only journalism, all social sciences. So faculty is also highly multidisciplinary. If you see, there are the sociology people, they will teach about the social society and the media and social dimensions of the society, how media is impacting society. They will see media in the eye of the angle of the sociology. And history faculty are there. So they will see historical aspects, how it is evolved, how it is changing. So history is nothing but what is today, or tomorrow it will become history. So they will see the historical dimensions of the media. Some are trained in the production, only production. They will teach production. Some faculty are of cultural studies. They will see media has a lot of impact on the culture. So how the culture is transforming in one country, in another country, in one state, another state, northeast, how it is changing, how is the impact. So most of the research studies in the world are on impact studies of the media, how it is evolving. And some people like me are pure mass communication background. So we will train the students or research in this angle, in mass communication, media ecology, media management, theoretical aspects. So in this way, the students, teachers and the system gives a lot of scope for the multidisciplinary approach. Second is collaborations. This JNU will give a lot of scope to collaborate with the different organizations, different Institute of Mass Communication and Videshi universities collaboration. So it gives a scope. And the training also is totally different. The ambience of academic culture and academic atmosphere is because of diversified specialization. So there is no limit. If anybody publishes a good articles in media, even though they are from the different disciplines, social sciences, their training and teaching, their scholars, guiding will be totally different. So it will give a exposure for a scholar or the students or for the teacher. A multi-dimensional approach of knowledge will be we will get from that particular platform. So that is I think one of the advantages for a scholar to have multi-dimensional knowledge acquiring, and I am looking forward to work for in that university and to have more collaborations and to bring the center also to the greater heights. And we learn a lot from those institutions because very great academicians, scholars will be there. We will listen, hear, and we learn a lot from the others' interaction. That what I feel that I will inculcate, and I hope I will acquire good knowledge in the coming days to come through that particular platform.
धन्यवाद सर, बहुत बहुत आगे भी हम लोग मिलते रहेंगे और आपके उज्जवल भविष्य की मंगल कामनाओं के साथ आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर गिविंग।
हमारे छाया चित्रकार नत्य गोपाल जी, गौरव जी को भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद है जो हमारी इस परिचर्चा में हमारा साथ दे रहे हैं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।